Hello students, in our previous lecture we are complete our 4.2 content in unit number 4. Okay, that is computation of income and gain, profit and gain from business or profession. Okay, in this lecture we are going to start a new content of unit number 4, that is 4.1 computation of income from salary. Okay, so here income from salary, meaning of salary. Income under the head of salaries would cover all remuneration due or paid to a person in respect of the personal services rendered by him during the course of employment, contract whether express or implied. Such charge presuppose the relationship of an employer and an employee, or a master and a servant, in a contrast to that of principal and an agent. Sometimes it is difficult to draw a line of distinction between the two kinds of relationship. The distinction is, however, important because only income earned as an employee or a servant is taxed under this head of salaries, whereas income earned as an agent is taxed under the head of profits and gain from business or profession. One of the differences between the relationship of master and servant and of principal and agent in general is that a principal has the right to direct what work the agent has to do. Okay, and in a master has a further right to direct how the work is to be done. Okay, so here salary means any payment made by the employer to the employee at regular interval for manual or non-manual services rendered as per the written or oral contract of the employment. Okay, so it is a relationship between employer and employee. The employer has paid a remuneration, okay, paid a remuneration to the employee for his services or for the services provided by the employee during the course of his employment. Okay, it is called a salary. Okay, so here definition is given under section 17 subsection 1, that is, salary includes wages, any annuity or pension, any gratuity, any fees, commission, perquisites or payments in lieu of salary, then any advance of salary, then any payment received by a employee in respect of any period of leave. Okay, so leave salary is also included in salary. Then annual accretion to the balance at the credit of employee participating in a recognized provident fund to the extent to which it is chargeable to the tax. Okay, so it is also included in the salary of the SEC. Then here basic charges. So salary means what? So salary means whatever the given to the employee from employer. Okay, in kind or in cash. Okay, in kind or in cash are included in the salary of SEC or salary of employee. Got it? Then here basic charges. Basic charges, first point, a salary due from an employer of a former employer to an SEC in the previous year, whether paid or not. It is called a accrual or due basis. Okay, it is called a accrual or due basis. It means under this principle the income from salary is taxable when it becomes due or receivable. Okay, when it becomes due or receivable. Then second basic charge is that any salary paid or allowed to him in the previous year by or on behalf of an employer or a previous employer, whether due or not. Okay, it means that Under this principle, the income from salary is taxable when it is received by an employee from employer. It means it is a principle under this method or under this system. Okay, under this system or under this principle, salary is taxable when it is received from employer. Okay, when it is received from employer by employee. Okay, and first condition or first principle is that a salary is receivable or due. Okay, it is taxable or we compute a taxable salary. Then third, any arrears of salary paid or allowed to him in previous year by or on behalf of an employer or former employer if not taxed earlier. Okay, it means any arrears of salary paid or allowed to him in the previous year by or on behalf of the employer or former employer if no charged to tax in any earlier previous year. Got it? So it is arrear salary given these three basic charge of salary. Then we go to study a various exemptions related to the salaries income under section 10. So here go to study a we go to study a various exemptions. Okay, exemption means tax free income. Okay, or the limit is given here, that is limit is given, that is some income is exempted up to certain limits. Okay, so we study this point. So here various exemptions related to salaries income under section 10. So first point is that leave travel concession. Okay, so leave travel concession under section 10 subsection 5. Okay, so here as per the section 10(5) in the value of any travel concession or assistance received or due to the assessee from his employer for himself and his family in connection with his proceeding on leave to any place of India. The amount exempted can in no case exceeds the expenditure actually incurred. So here the amount exempted up to or cannot exceed the actual expenditure incurred on traveling. Okay, so here first point is that is amount is exempted. Okay, amount is exempted up to expenditure incurred on traveling, or second one is only two journey. Okay, only two journey in a block of 4 years are exempted. So here remember that the leave travel concession is, it means the employer gives a leave travel concession or provide a facility to the employee for traveling, or leave concession to himself or to the family of that assessee in connection with proceeding of leave to the place of India. So allowable exemption to that assessee is actual expenditure incurred on traveling or to journey in a block of 4 years. Whichever is lower is allowed for deduction. Got it? Whichever is lower is allowed for deduction. So actual expenditure incurred or only two journeys, okay, in a block of 4 years, whichever is lower, it means which amount is lower is allowed for exemption, or it will be deducted from that amount. Then second point is gratuity. So gratuity under section 10 subsection 10. So here gratuity for government employee. Okay, for government employee, first point, that is gratuity for government employee. Here for government employee the gratuity is fully exempted from tax. Okay, For government employee, gratuity is fully exempted from tax or tax free for government employee only. Remember this, government employee. So gratuity for government employee is fully exempted from tax. So here we read it. Any death cum retirement gratuity received by government employee under specified rule. That it means specified rule means gratuity covered under Gratuity Act 1972. Okay, so the amount or gratuity received by a government employee is fully exempted or fully exempted from tax here. Okay, fully exempted from tax. Got it? Fully exempted from tax for government employee under section 10 subsection 10. Gratuity for government employee is fully exempted from tax. Then second part, that is B, non-government employee. In non-government employee there are also two kinds. Okay, so here non-government employees. So non-government employees, allowable exemption for gratuity is given. Okay, allowable exemption of gratuity is given. First point, that is where an employee are covered by the payment of gratuity under the Gratuity Act 1972. Okay, if an employee has covered the gratuity amount under the Gratuity Act 1972, then the allowable exemption for that assessee will be given here. So here we have to compute a gratuity, okay, for non-government employee, and that employee has covered his payment under the Gratuity Act 1972. Then here minimum of the following three is allowed for exemption. Okay, so here first point. Okay, here we also says here that gratuity exempted will be minimum or list of the following. Here list of the following. Got it? So here gratuity exempted will be minimum or list of the following. It means whichever is lower amount is allowed for deduction for non-government employee, and that government employee covers the payment of his gratuity under Gratuity Act 1972. That is, here first point, actual gratuity received. Okay, actual amount of gratuity received by employee. Second, 15 days salary into completed years of services. And third, rupees 20 lakh. Okay, so whichever is lower, which amount is lower among these three is exemption to that assessee, from gratuity. Got it? Exemption for that assessee from gratuity. Okay, then second point, that is for other employee. Other employee means non-government employee, but the assessee will not cover his payment under Gratuity Act 1972. The assessee will not cover a payment of Gratuity Act under Gratuity Act 1972. So here the allowable exemption or exemption here, allowable exemption for gratuity not covered under Gratuity Act, that is minimum of the following three: actual gratuity received or half month's average salary, or rupees 10 lakh, whichever is lower for exemption. But then third point, that is encashment of earned leave or leave encashment under section 10 subsection 10A. In this point, first point is that encashment of earned leave during the service period. So encashment of leave during the service period is fully taxable. What it is? Fully taxable if an employee does not avail or uncovered his leave and instead choose to encash such leave while still being in the service, then the encashment of leave is fully taxable to that employee. Then encashment after retirement. Okay, second point is that encashment after retirement. So here encashment after retirement, where an employee receives cash payment in respect of earned leave not uncovered by him at the time of retirement or resignation, it will be exempted from tax to the extent as stated below. So encashment of leave after retirement, here we consider a 3 or whichever is lower or minimum of the following 3. That is for government employee. Okay, so here for government employee, if the leave encashment after retirement, then it is fully exempted from tax to the government employee. Here for government employees, any payment received as encashment of unavailed leave at the time of retirement, whether or on superannuation or otherwise by government employees, fully exempted from tax. So leave encashment for government employee at the time of retirement or after retirement, it is fully exempted. Got it? So here remember this, for government employee the leave encashment is fully exempted at the time of retirement or after the retirement. Second point is that non-government employee. So non-government employee is given here. Non-government employee, any payment received as encashment of unavailed leave at the time of retirement, whether on superannuation or otherwise by non-government employee, it is exempted from tax to the extent of minimum or least of the following. Okay, so here also given a computation. Okay, for cash equivalent leave due at the rate of average salary. Okay, okay, cash equivalent of leave due at the rate of average salary, that is earned leave entitled for exemption, cannot exceed 30 days for every years of actual service with the employer from this service he has retired. Okay, so actual leave or cash equivalent to the leave of average salary of that assessee. Then second one is 10 months average salary. Then C, the amount of leave encashment actually received. It means actual cash received for encashment of leave. And last one is the amount specified by the government if date of retirement after 1st April 1998 amounted to rupees 3 lakh, whichever is lower is allowed for exemption to the non-government employee. Here remember that for government employee the leave encashment is received sorry, the leave encashment is received after retirement, then fully exempted. And non-government employee, minimum of the following 3, that is cash received equivalent to the salary or average salary, or second point that is 10 months average salary, third point that is the amount of leave encashment actually received, and third point is the amount specified there by the government if date of retirement after 1st April 1998 amounted to rupees 3 lakh, whichever is lower. Fourth point is that pension. Okay, pension under section 10 subsection 10A. So uncommuted or periodical pension for government and non-government employees, this pension is fully taxable. Uncommuted pension is fully taxable whether the employee is government employee or non-government employee. So got it? So remember this, uncommuted pension is taxable whether the assessee is government employee or non-government employee. Then B part, that is commuted pension. That is first point in commuted pension, first point, government employees. So for government employees, any payment received in commutation or commutation of pension by all categories of government employees fully exempted from tax. So here Commuted pension of government employee is fully exempted from tax. Remember this, commuted value of pension is fully exempted from tax. Then non-government employees, the commuted value of pension is exempted from tax to the extent of following. So here in first point, that is where the employees receives any gratuity, okay, any gratuity is received by non-government employee, then value computed on pension is 1/3 of the pension. Okay, so how to compute? So here 1 divided by 3 into commuted value of pension received divided by commutation in percentage into 100. Got it? So if a gratuity is received, then the value of pension is commuted with the help of this formula, and the amount is allowed for exemption. So here commuted value of pension is exempted. Then B point or B part is that if a employee does not receive gratuity, the commuted value of pension is 1/2. Okay, so commuted value of pension is 1/2. So how to compute? So how to compute? So here formula is given, 1/2 divided by 1 divided by 2 multiplied by commuted pension received divided by commission into 100, commission in percentage into 100, we get a exemption amount or exempted amount. Okay, so here for government employee it is fully taxable if pension is uncommuted, then fully taxable. Commuted pension for government employee fully exempted. Non-government employee, we have to commute the pension of non-government employee. If the employee has received a gratuity, then value of commuted pension is 1/3 into commuted pension received divided by commission in percentage multiplied by 100. When an employee does not receive gratuity, then the commuted value of pension is 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 into commuted pension received divided by commission in percentage divided into 100. Okay, then Provident Fund. Next point is Provident Fund. So exemption in respect of Provident Fund. So Provident Fund is a welfare fund constituted for the benefit or for the retirement of the employee. Okay, for the benefit of retirement of the employee. Here Provident Fund is a welfare fund constituted for the benefit of employee with contribution towards the fund from the employees as well as the employer. In case of urgent requirements of long-term purpose, the employee is permitted to withdraw from Provident Fund subject to certain conditions. A certain amounts every month at a specified percentage of the salary of the is deducted at source and deposited in the Provident Fund account of the employee. It means Provident Fund is a contribution of the employee and employer for the retirement benefit of the employee. Got it? Here types of Provident Fund is given, that is statutory Provident Fund, recognized Provident Fund, unrecognized Provident Fund, public Provident Fund. Okay. So statutory Provident Fund means this fund or this Provident Fund is maintained by government, semi-government or local authorities, universities, etc. This fund is constituted under the Provident Fund Act 1952. Okay. This fund is constituted under the Provident Fund Act 1952. It's called a statutory fund. Okay, then recognized Provident Fund means this is the Provident Fund which is established under a scheme framed under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1952. This is the fund which is recognized by Chief Commissioner of Income Tax as per the provisions contained in the Income Tax Act 1961. So, recognized Provident Fund means it is recognized by Chief Commissioner of Income Tax as per the provision of Income Tax contained in the Income Tax Act 1961. This fund is maintained by a commercial establishment, scheduled banks, factories, etc. Okay, it's called recognized provident fund. Then unrecognized provident fund means this provident fund is the fund which is not a statutory or recognized fund. It means those fund which is not a statutory or recognized fund is called unrecognized provident fund. Then fourth one is public provident fund. The public provident fund means the central government has established the public provident fund for the benefit of general public to mobilize the saving, to encourage the saving among the general public. For that purpose the public provident fund is established by the central government. Any member of the public can participate in the fund by opening Provident Fund account at the State Bank of India or its subsidiary or other nationalized bank. The tax treatment in respect of Provident firms are as follows. So tax treatment for Provident Fund is given here. So we discuss this tax treatment for Provident Fund in our next lecture. So here in our today's lecture we studied a meaning of salary as well as basic charge and various exemptions related to income of salary. बघा मग यामध्ये इन्कम फ्रॉम सॅलरी म्हणजे काय तर एम्प्लॉयर जे काय रेम्युनरेशन एम्प्लॉईला देतो जे काही रेम्युनरेशन एम्प्लॉईला देतो कशाच्या बाबतीत तर त्या एम्प्लॉईनं जे काही वर्क केलं असेल त्या एम्प्लॉयर साठी त्याच्या बदल्यात जे काही दिलं जातं त्याला म्हटलं जातं सॅलरी. ओके, यालाच म्हटलं जातं एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉई रिलेशनशिप. व्हॉट एव्हर मे बी गिवन टू द एम्प्लॉई बाय द एम्प्लॉयर इज कॉल्ड सॅलरी अँड सॅलरी इन्क्लूड वेजेस, एनी ॲन्युटी और पेन्शन, एनी ग्रॅच्युटी, एनी फीज, कमिशन, परक्विजिट्स और प्रॉफिट इन लिeu ऑफ सॅलरी. गॉट इट. देन ॲडव्हान्स सॅलरी, या सर्वांना काय म्हटलं जातं सॅलरी म्हटलं जातं. आता बेसिक चार्ज म्हणजे काय तर सॅलरी कधी टॅक्सेबल होते किंवा कशी कम्प्यूट केली जाते. मग यामध्ये दोन पार्ट आहेत, ते म्हणजे ॲक्रुअल ऑर ड्यू बेसिसवरती आपण सॅलरी कम्प्यूट करतो आणि एक आहे ती रिसिप्ट बेसिसवरती, रिसिव्ड बेसिसवरती. मग यामध्ये ॲक्रुअल आणि ड्यू बेसिस काय आहे तर यामध्ये हे प्रिन्सिपल काय सांगतं तर सॅलरी तुम्हाला मिळेल किंवा मिळाली असेल किंवा मिळाली नसेल. ॲक्रुअल म्हणजे काय पेड ऑर नॉट, रिसिव्ड ऑर नॉट. ओके, म्हणजे ॲक्रुअल. लक्षात आलं. द प्रिन्सिपल सेज दॅट द सॅलरी इज टॅक्सेबल व्हेन इट बिकम्स ड्यू. ओके, येणं आहे, देणं आहे. ओके, त्यावेळेस आपण काय करणार आहे त्या पद्धतीत एक टॅक्सेबल सॅलरी कम्प्यूट करणार आहे. किंवा सॅलरी ड्यू ऑर नॉट म्हणजे मिळाली किंवा मिळाली असेल तर म्हणजेच त्याला म्हटलं तर रिसिप्ट बेसिस. ओके, म्हणजेच काय आहे तर अंडर दिस प्रिन्सिपल द इन्कम फ्रॉम सॅलरी इज टॅक्सेबल व्हेन इट बिकम्स और व्हेन इट इज रिसिव्ड फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉयर. When it is received from employer, it is the basic charges and we compute a salary on receipt basis. Okay, सॅलरी आपण कोणत्या बेसिसवर कम्प्यूट करणार आहे रिसिप्ट बेसिसवरती कम्प्यूट करणार आहे. त्यानंतर जे आपण पाहिलं ते म्हणजे डिडक्शन्स नाही याला म्हणत एक्झम्पशन म्हणजे टॅक्स फ्री इन्कम. काही इन्कम सॅलरीमधून टॅक्स फ्री आहे ते आपण पाहिलं. मग त्यामध्ये लिव्ह ट्रॅव्हल कन्सेशन, त्यामध्ये एक्झम्पशन काय आहे तर ॲक्च्युअल एक्सपेंडिचर इन्कर्ड ऑन ट्रॅव्हलिंग म्हणजे जो काही खर्च झाला असेल ट्रॅव्हलिंगसाठी तो, किंवा 2 जर्नी एका ब्लॉकची. मग एक ब्लॉक किती वर्षाचा आहे 4 ब्लॉकचा. जी कमी असेल व्हॅल्यू ती तुम्हाला एक्झम्पशन दिलं जाईल. त्यानंतर ग्रॅच्युटी आपण यामध्ये पाहिलं. ग्रॅच्युटीमध्ये गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय पाहिलं, नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय पाहिलं. मग गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय असेल तर त्यांना मिळणारी ग्रॅच्युटी ॲट द टाइम ऑफ रिटायरमेंट फुल्ली एक्झम्प्टेड आहे म्हणजे टॅक्स फ्री आहे. नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईसाठी कम्प्युटेशन आहे, त्यामध्ये 2 पार्ट त्यांनी पाडलेले आहेत. ते म्हणजे पहिला की जो एम्प्लॉई ग्रॅच्युटीचं पेमेंट जे आहे तो कव्हर करतो ग्रॅच्युटी ॲक्ट 1972 प्रमाणे त्यांना मिळणारं जाणारं एक्झम्पशन. ते आहे मिनिमम ऑफ द फॉलोइंग 3, म्हणजे खाली दिलेले जे पॉईंट आपण वाचले ओके त्यापैकी जी व्हॅल्यू तिन्हीमधली कमी असेल ती एक्झम्प्ट राहील. मग ॲक्च्युअल ग्रॅच्युटी रिसिव्ड किंवा 15 दिवसांची सॅलरी गुणिले कंप्लिटेड इयर्स ऑफ सर्व्हिस ऑफ दॅट SSC किंवा ₹20 लाख या तिन्हीपैकी जी व्हॅल्यू कमी असेल ती तुम्हाला एक्झम्पशनसाठी दिली जाईल किंवा ती व्हॅल्यू तुमची टॅक्स फ्री राहील. अदर एम्प्लॉई म्हणजे कोण? जे एम्प्लॉई नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट आहेत परंतु ग्रॅच्युटी कव्हर केलेली नाही ग्रॅच्युटी ॲक्ट प्रमाणे, मग त्यांना बी सुद्धा काय दिलेलं आहे एक्झम्पशन दिलेलं आहे मिनिमम ऑफ द फॉलोइंग 3. ॲक्च्युअल ग्रॅच्युटी रिसिव्ड हाफ मंथ्स ॲव्हरेज सॅलरी बेस्ड अपॉन 10 months ॲव्हरेज सॅलरी इमिडिएटली प्रोसिडिंग्स और ₹10 lakh विच एव्हर इज लोअर. त्यानंतर तिसरा पार्ट आपण जो पाहिला तो लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट. लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंटमध्ये ए पार्ट पाहिला तो म्हणजे जी लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट आहे ती सर्व्हिस पिरियडमध्ये असताना मिळाली तर ती फुल्ली टॅक्सेबल राहील. त्यानंतर इनकॅशमेंट आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट म्हणजे लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट मिळाली ओके कधी तर रिटायरमेंट नंतर. मग यामध्ये 2 पार्ट आहे गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई. गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई असेल तर त्याला फुल्ली एक्झम्प्ट राहील ओके. जर लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट मिळाली आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट एखाद्या एम्प्लॉईला परंतु तो कोणता असेल गव्हर्नमेंट ओके एखाद्या गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईला लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट मिळत असेल तर ती टॅक्स फ्री आहे एक्झम्प्टेड आहे. नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईच्या बाबतीत तसं नाही. नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईच्या बाबतीत आपल्याला कम्प्यूट करावं लागतं. ते म्हणजे काय तर यामध्ये जी कमी व्हॅल्यू असेल ती आपल्याला इथं एक्झम्प्ट राहणार आहे. मग त्यामध्ये काय सांगितलं आहे कॅश इक्विव्हॅलंट टू द ॲव्हरेज सॅलरी म्हणजे जी इनकॅशमेंट किंवा लिव्ह इनकॅशमेंट मिळेल ती ॲव्हरेज सॅलरीच्या बरोबर असेल ती कन्सिडर करा किंवा 10 महिन्याची ॲव्हरेज सॅलरी कम्प्यूट करा किंवा तिसरं ॲक्च्युअल तुम्हाला इनकॅशमेंट किती मिळते ते किंवा गव्हर्नमेंटनं स्पेसिफाईड केलेलं आहे की जर रिटायरमेंट 1/4/1998 नंतरची असेल तर ₹3 लाख. या 4 पैकी जी कमी व्हॅल्यू असेल ती तुम्हाला टॅक्स फ्री राहील. त्यानंतर पेन्शन आपण पाहिलं. पेन्शनमध्ये अनकम्युटेड पेन्शन असेल तर फुल्ली टॅक्सेबल राहील ओके. मग तो गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई असो किंवा नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई असो पेन्शन अनकम्युटेड आहे तुमची ती काय राहील फुल्ली टॅक्सेबल राहील वेदर द गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई ऑर वेदर द SSC इज नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉई. कम्युटेड पेन्शन असेल तर गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईला टॅक्स फ्री राहील. नॉन गव्हर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉईला कम्प्यूट करावी लागेल. कशी कम्प्यूट करावी लागेल जर त्यामध्ये ग्रॅच्युटी असेल तर 1/3 व्हॅल्यू तुम्हाला काय करावी केली जाईल दिली जाईल. मग 1/3 कशी कम्प्यूट केली जाईल तर 1/3 मल्टिप्लाइड बाय कम्युटेड पेन्शन रिसिव्ड डिवायडेड बाय कमिशन इन पर्सेंटेज मल्टिप्लाइड बाय 100. इफ employee does not received gratuity then commuted value of pension is 1/2. And how to compute? So here formula is given in front of you, that is 1/2 multiplied by commuted pension received divided by commission in percentage multiplied by 100. okay. Then प्रोव्हिडंट फंड. प्रोव्हिडंट फंड म्हणजे काय तर भविष्याच्या किंवा रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिटसाठी दर महिन्याला तो SSC काय करतो सेविंग करतो म्हणजे त्याच्या सॅलरीमधून तेवढी रक्कम दरमहा कट होते आणि प्रोव्हिडंट फंडला क्रेडिट होते ओके. प्रोव्हिडंट फंडला क्रेडिट होते. फक्त SSCचीच नाही तर SSC सोबत एम्प्लॉयर सुद्धा तेवढीच रक्कम त्याच्या प्रोव्हिडंट फंडमध्ये काय करत असते पाठवत असते. लक्षात आलं. म्हणजे जर एम्प्लॉई 2000 दर महिना प्रोव्हिडंट फंडला पैसे ट्रान्सफर करत असेल किंवा त्याचा तो इन्स्टॉलमेंट कट होत असेल तर तेवढ्याच रक्कम ही एम्प्लॉयर सुद्धा त्याच्या कॉन्ट्रीब्युशनमध्ये टाकतो प्रोव्हिडंट फंडमध्ये टाकतो. कशासाठी दिलं जातं तर इट इज अ बेनिफिट ॲट द टाइम ऑफ रिटायरमेंट ओके. फॉर द टाइम ऑफ रिटायरमेंट रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिटसाठी प्रोव्हिडंट फंडमध्ये पैसे टाकले जातात. मग प्रोव्हिडंट फंडचे इथं प्रकार आपण पाहिले की स्टॅट्युटरी प्रोव्हिडंट फंड. मग स्टॅट्युटरी प्रोव्हिडंट फंड म्हणजे काय की स्टॅट्युटरी प्रोव्हिडंट फंड म्हणजे असा फंड जो कोण मेंटेन करतं, तर गव्हर्नमेंट करेल, सेमी गव्हर्नमेंट करेल, एखादी ऑर्गनायझेशन करेल, लोकल अथॉरिटी करेल, युनिव्हर्सिटीज करेल. ओके, त्यांना अथॉरिटी राहील की हा फंड तुम्ही मेंटेन करू शकता. आता हा फंड कसा कॉन्स्टिट्यूट झालेला आहे, कसा तयार झालेला आहे, तर हा फंड प्रोव्हिडंट फंड ॲक्ट 1952 नुसार कॉन्स्टिट्यूट झालेला आहे, तयार झालेला आहे. दुसरा पार्ट पाहिला किंवा दुसरा प्रकार पाहिला आपण, तो म्हणजे रिकग्नाइज्ड प्रोव्हिडंट फंड. यामध्ये फरक काहीच नाही. हा फंड सुद्धा प्रोव्हिडंट फंड ॲक्टच्या फ्रेमनुसार तयार झालेला आहे. म्हणजे प्रोव्हिडंट फंड ॲक्ट 1952 याच्याच स्कीमच्या फ्रेमवरती हा तयार झालेला आहे. फक्त यात एकच डिफरन्स जो आहे तो म्हणजे काय, तर याला रिकग्नाइज्ड कोण करतं, तर चीफ कमिशनर ऑफ इन्कम टॅक्स. म्हणजे इन्कम टॅक्सचे जे चीफ कमिशनर आहेत ते याला रिकग्नाइज करतात. कशानुसार, तर ॲज पर द प्रोव्हिजन्स कंटेन्ड इन द इन्कम टॅक्स ॲक्ट 1961. म्हणजे इन्कम टॅक्सच्या ॲक्टनुसार 1961च्या ॲक्टनुसार ज्या प्रोव्हिजन्स कंटेन केलेल्या आहेत त्या प्रोव्हिजननुसार तो रिकग्नाइज्ड होतो. त्याला म्हटलं जातं रिकग्नाइज्ड प्रोव्हिडंट फंड. आता हे फंड कोण मेंटेन करू शकतं, तर कमर्शियल इस्टॅब्लिशमेंट्स किंवा शेड्यूल बँक्स किंवा फॅक्टरीज. लक्षात घ्या, इम्पॉर्टंट पॉईंट आहे की स्टॅट्युटरी प्रोव्हिडंट फंड कोण मेंटेन करू शकतं, तर गव्हर्नमेंट, लोकल गव्हर्नमेंट, सेमी गव्हर्नमेंट, युनिव्हर्सिटीज, ऑर्गनायझेशन. रिकग्नाइज्ड प्रोव्हिडंट फंड कोण मेंटेन करू शकतं, तर कमर्शियल इस्टॅब्लिशमेंट, शेड्यूल बँक्स आणि फॅक्टरीज. ओके, अनरिकग्नाइज्ड प्रोव्हिडंट फंड म्हणजे काय की जो स्टॅट्युटरी फंड नाही आणि जो रिकग्नाइज्ड फंड नाही त्याला अनरिकग्नाइज्ड फंड म्हटलं जातं. पब्लिक प्रोव्हिडंट फंड म्हणजे काय, तर पब्लिकचे सेव्हिंग वाढवण्यासाठी, त्यांना इन्करेज करण्यासाठी, सेव्हिंग करण्यासाठी तो फंड तयार केला जातो. यामध्ये कोणतीही जनरल पब्लिक आपले पैसे काय करू शकते, कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट करू शकते. त्याला म्हटलं जातं पब्लिक प्रोव्हिडंट फंड. लक्षात आलं. आता हा इस्टॅब्लिश कोणी केलेला आहे, तर सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंटने केलेला आहे. हा सुद्धा प्रश्न येऊ शकतो. ओके, तर त्यानुसार आता प्रोव्हिडंट फंडमध्ये इन्कम टॅक्सची ट्रीटमेंट किंवा प्रोव्हिडंट फंडला इन्कम टॅक्समध्ये कशी ट्रीटमेंट असते हे आपल्याला बघायचं आहे. ते आपण नेक्स्ट किंवा आपल्या पुढच्या लेक्चरमध्ये बघणार आहोत. सोपं आहे. इन्कम टॅक्सचं डिडक्शन इन्कम टॅक्समध्ये प्रोव्हिडंट फंडचं मिळलं जाणारं बेनिफिट, टॅक्स ट्रीटमेंट म्हणजे प्रोव्हिडंट फंड असेल, स्टॅट्युटरी असेल तर त्याला मिळालं जाणारं डिडक्शन फॉर एम्प्लॉयरनं कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट केलं असेल तर किती टक्के किंवा किती रक्कम ही टॅक्स फ्री आहे हे महत्त्वाचं आहे. त्यामध्ये ते आपण पुढच्या लेक्चरमध्ये बघणार आहे. ओके, सो थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.